Hey guys, it's CJ. you see what goes on behind the scenes?
You know how many
Yes.
times we had to restart
Yes.
this over? But hey,
And-
it's tea. She had to eat cookies, get
Yes.
her water.
I had to. So we're gonna talk about a serious topic today. Referring to our shirts, Unarmed. It's regarding the recent murder of an innocent man by the name of George Floyd and everything surrounding this whole issue, which we've been dealing with since we stepped on this earth right here. Not this earth, I'll take that back. Since we stepped on this land right here of America.
And these were not planned either.
It wasn't. This was a gift from me. I mean, not from me, but it was a gift to me. And I love this shirt, and thank you.
I love what it stands for. Shout out to Strange Fruit.
Okay. So, what's your take on what's going on, Tanya?
I cried like a little baby today. I actually watched the video.
You watched the video of George?
Yes, I watched the video of George. Thank you, Carla. And again, this is just our opinion, everyone. And don't get mad at me when I'm about to say.
We don't even have the same opinion on it. So
we definitely don't.
We don't.
And you're going to see it. But I don't think that this cop went in saying he wanted to kill a black person today. I'm not gonna believe that. And I could be wrong. But after watching the video, like I said, I watched it this morning, and it ripped my heart out as a mother, father, sister, brother, whatever we are. And if you can't see what's going on in America right in front of our face, and I will share a story with you, 2 things that happened today. But earlier in the week, a good friend of ours, Latoya Watson, spoke upon George Floyd, and she said something that really grasped me, because I have a son, and she was talking about her grandchild who's brown skinned, and she said, I don't want him to be afraid to run. I don't want him to be afraid to get arrested. My son likes to run. And just like Ahmaud, coming from a house that was burglarized, 2 men didn't even know that. An ex-cop took a man's life for no reason, because you saw him running from something that happened, had nothing to do with him. George Floyd died over a $20 bill. When things like this happen, and us as Americans, I don't like to use color. I only use color when I have to be descriptive. I'm tired. We face prejudice every day. We just choose to ignore it because that wasn't bestilled in us. But movies were put out. Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee, John Singleton, Higher Learning. I was just telling Carla that, they ridiculed these directors, writers, producers for putting out these movies and making a statement for all of us. I thank God with our kids that we bestilled in them. They will sit and watch Higher Learning. They will sit and watch Do the Right Thing because they've seen us watch it. I also said Malcolm X said it the best. You fight with your mind. So I'm saying that to say this. We shouldn't be scared to do anything. So I'm going to share something with you, and then I'm going to turn it over to Carla.
But I like to interject one thing. Malcolm X also said it's time to stop singing
and
start swinging. You cannot fight with a non-violence approach when people are being violent towards you. And that's the thing with American history, is that American history has been so violent towards African Americans. Other people as well, but mainly we've been the target. We're the ones that built this country off our back, off our sweat, off our fear, off our blood. We built this motherfucking country. Let's never get that confused. This country was built off our labor, which was free. Everything goes back to slavery. Behind every fortune is a crime. And that crime is what happened to Africans when they came over here to America and they were enslaved and they were tortured and they were raped and they remain. I mean, there's so many things that were done psychologically to us. Going back to Willie Lynch, all you gotta do is read it. It won't take about 15 minutes to read the whole book. How he described how you break a slave. You break a horse. You break them with using things such as skin complexion and age. You make a son have sex with his mother. You know what I'm saying? It's the things that are in that book are so disgusting. I mean, only a monster can come up with this kind of shit. And so what's sad about it is that you have men come over from Iraq, from different wars, and everybody's empathetic. Oh, he has post-traumatic syndrome. She has post-traumatic syndrome because they've been at war. But they don't have no empathy or sympathy for the fact that black people who live in this land right here was passed down that same shit from generation to generation, from their grandma to their mother to their son, and so on and so forth. The fear that black people have been dealing with from generation to generation, the discrimination that black people deal with from generation to generation is fucking in their DNA. Okay? That post-traumatic shit is in their DNA. Then you have situations like redlining, all that bullshit that puts people in certain living areas where they live at war. They watch people get murdered. They watch their friends get murdered right in front of them. And then you gotta go out, and then you got an officer harassing you at the same time, putting false charges on you. Next thing you know, you locked up for a crime you never did, and you caught up in a system you could never ever get out. Now you can't get a job. Now you can't get financial aid. Now you can't get welfare. There's so much that goes behind all this shit that nobody sees unless you're involved in certain systems. Then you'll see it with your own eyes. And so when people sit around and they make a judgment about looting and how black people are responding to fucking being murdered, you have no right to make a statement on anything if you have not walked in the shoes of a black person in America, not another country. I'm talking about America because this is the most inhumane level of slavery ever recorded. The Spaniards did not treat their slaves like this. That's why they have a different kind of, that's why Hispanics work differently. It's a difference on how that whole Willie Lynch teaching divided us. It made us hate each other. It made us not trust each other. So in the midst of being harassed and destroyed by outside forces, we inside destroying ourselves at the same time. So it's a lose-lose situation at this point. But I think that with this George situation, it got people all almost on one accord. Like almost. This man was murdered. A man had his knee on this man's neck
for 9 minutes.
And he sat on his man's neck with his hand in his pocket in the most arrogant fucking pose I've ever seen. Just the arrogance and the superiority of it all was just disgusting. And he represents exactly what we don't understand. He represents exactly what black men, especially, because they're the targets, what black people in general have to deal on a daily basis. He represents everything that stands in our way to get to the next point. And that's my stance on it. And it's infuriating to me. It makes me very angry to know that I'm a part of this race that I'm so proud about being black. It's the greatest gift that I could have ever received. I would never want to be anything in this world but black. We the dopest people on earth. Right. Our culture, it is a culture that people idolize, want. They try to replicate. They steal from it. They want it. We made this culture, black Americans, from no culture at all. Okay, we the dopest people on earth. No one's gonna ever convince me otherwise. But to see black people to be tormented and harassed, and then they want the acceptance of a race that does not really give two fucks about them. I don't, and let me be very, very clear with this, because of course there's good people in every race. There's good people in every ethnicity. They are. If it was not for white people who sat with us at those counters, if it wasn't for those white people that got on that bus, right. A lot of Jewish people, because they were really leading the way, okay? A lot of the Amish people was leading the way. Mm-hmm. So I don't ever want to take away from that, because not everybody is evil. If we did not have the help from those people, we would not be where we at right now. So I don't ever want to I don't want to ever overlook that fact. But it's so hard when you have so many people coming at you. You don't know who is the good person. So you just lashing out because you're just tired, you're exhausted. So I don't ever want to think this is an attack on everybody of opposite race. That's not where I'm at with it. What I'm saying is that black people have been through so much, and we're the ones that our character is dragged through the mud as if we're some kind of a violent human being that can't be tamed. But the people that brought us over here, the people that broke us, the people that raped us and murdered us and tortured us, they supposed to be the good. They supposed to be seen as the good people. No one's understanding like just how the brainwash happens. You got a people that deliberately go around and enslave and kill people and rape people, feed them to fucking alligators, children for bait, but we are the aggressors. See what I'm saying? Like, people don't look at the whole picture, because the thing is this: there is no reality to anything. It's only a perception and what's been fed to you. And if you can't understand that a whole race has been mistreated and is documented, and you still allow for the media to convince you that these people, which is my people, are some kind of I don't know, some kind of savage, you just ignorant as that man that's held on that man's neck. If you can look the other way when that man put his knee on his neck and not see what's wrong with that, then you're an evil human being. And that's what it is. That's somebody's child. That man was somebody's child. That man was somebody's brother. That man was somebody's dad. That was a human being. Okay, and I don't give a damn if it was if it was a forgery, if it was a counterfeit $20 bill. To me, that don't matter. It don't matter. That's a man's life. That man, that officer, that monster, he took an oath.
That coward.
He took an oath. And he betrayed his own fucking honor by what he did with that man, to put that man on that ground. And that man died with another man's knee on his neck. And that, to me, is what America has had on the black male's neck since they got off that fucking boat. And so, yeah, everybody's very angry. Everybody has their opinion about it. People say they should be doing this and that. Man, fuck all that, okay? Fuck that property. That's fucking material shit. That's merchandise. We're talking about a human being who was killed, and black men are continuing to be killed every fucking day. You're talking about looting. Fuck that, okay? Because when a sports team loses, y'all loot. When a sports team loses, y'all riot, okay? We're talking about a man who died, not a fucking basketball game or a baseball game or a soccer game or none of that shit. We're talking about a human fucking being, and that's where I'm at with it. What you got to say?
Before we came on camera, I was talking to Carla, and I said, that Colin Kaepernick, football player, great quarterback for the 49ers, when he got down on one knee and he refused to pledge the allegiance, I don't blame him. I don't blame any of us how we're feeling right now. We're in a very emotional state, and opinions can go either or way. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to share something which was put out by Nervous Expression. Instagram was at an all-time high today. Read that. Because I can't read. Just read
Lord
it.
have mercy. Okay, who is this? Okay. It says Tamala. Is that her name? Tamala. It doesn't zoom in. Tamalia Holford was murdered while she attended a sleepover with 7 white women. She was beaten and thrown off a balcony. This was the last picture she took before her death. Did anyone forget this? I've never even heard this story.
Never even heard of it.
Did somebody break in the house? Now I'm confused.
Well, we'll talk about the young lady that killed in Chicago, Billionaire's Hotel. Found in the freezer. We can talk about a lot of different stories, but I'm going to share one with you that happened to me today.
What happened?
So I'm going to the adult store, just in case kids are watching.
What kind of store is that?
Liquor.
Okay.
And opened the door for a guy. Wasn't paying attention. He said, well, thank you. So, he's at the counter purchasing his stuff. And the two owners of the store is just standing there. And I'm like, come on, like, he already gave you his credit card. Let's move it. And he said to them, you have a good day. And then he turned to me and he said, and you have a good day. On this man's face was a Confederate flag mask. And about 45 minutes ago, I go to Wawa, get gas before coming here. And a little girl says to her mom, because they were in Wawa watching the videos of Ahmaud, and she says to her mother, Mommy, why are people burning down buildings and cops hitting people? She said, because they're stupid. And they don't know. No, that's not what she said. She said, they're just being stupid. So I was walking out and she turned around and she looked at my shirt. She was black. Now I'm going to go a little bit different from my partner here. Again, I don't like to use color unless it's necessary. But I'm angry. I'm angry at us as a nation because we made fun of Spike Lee. No one didn't know what this man was talking about, where he was going with his movies, but he was teaching us all along. John Singleton, when he put out Higher Learning, everybody got so mad. Wow, he put that out. It was for us to pay attention and wake up. That film came out 23 years ago, I believe. Might be longer than that, I don't know. So we witnessed a horrific crime on TV, if you will. I didn't watch it until this morning. And it's like I had an outer body experience, because in that liquor store today, had it been the younger generation, this generation, we might be reporting something in Sicklerville today because of the ignorance. But you know what? We do it to ourselves. And maybe we'll wake up now. Maybe we'll stop the drug dealing. Maybe we'll stop the pounding on our brothers and sisters and kids. Maybe we'll stop the gangs. Maybe we'll get out there and make it right. But we can sit here and talk about what we need to do, what we need to do, what we need to do. And people don't want to have these conversations because they don't want to get into arguments. But I'll give you one better. Tory Lanez in Chicago, who happens to be Tiny's from Escape best friend.
She kind of ignorant as fuck.
She said, oh Lord, not the Gucci store. Well, Tory Lanez felt some type of way. Was he wrong? We can look at it from different levels. Our good friend LaToya Watson said we need to talk about these conversations. Talk about it with your co-workers. Talk about it with your children, your partners. These are things that need to be talked about, because as long as they're not talked about, it's going to be ignored. And like the young man said, he's tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. You feel it as an American. You feel it as with people of color. And I don't believe, and please everybody do not get mad at me, I don't believe that cop went in saying I wanted to kill a nigga today.
I do. You're not going to convince me otherwise. That man had a hatred for black people. He had a hatred for minorities.
Can I stop you right there, though?
He had 17 complaints in his folder. Okay, he shot a black man, killed a black man.
But you know what, though?
He made hatred of a Hispanic man. Okay. So he had hatred in his heart. That's who he was.
But you know what happened, though? It stopped the corruption with the Minnesota Police Department. It needed to be exposed. It needed to be exposed. This is exposure what happened at this man. Because, see, I just didn't know that. See, the more you know.
He had 17 complaints and there was nothing done to him.
Okay.
He only had one written reprimand when, I don't even know what the situation was, but when that man died, no charge was brought against him. When a Hispanic man was shot and injured, nothing was done to him. He had hatred in his heart from the jump street. And he worked part-time at that Spanish restaurant alongside with George Floyd. They worked together. The owner said that he was easily intimidated by crowds. Okay. The first response that he did was pull out pepper spray because he's a coward. And that's what a lot of times
I said that earlier,
the issue is. Coward. And that's why a lot of times it's hard for us as minority people, whether that be blacks, Hispanics, whoever the case, for people of color to decipher between racism and that blue flag. That blue flag to us at times represents the same as the KKK, because it's like hard to separate both of them. It is. Like you do believe, of course, that there's good officers. You do want to believe it. I know I live in New Jersey. I feel like New Jersey leads the way when it comes down to law enforcement. Our law enforcement officers, they are, to me, they on another level. They are. Compared to other states, I'm happy, I'm grateful that we pay these high-ass taxes and we live here and we're safer here than any other state.
And they know better. And kudos and shout-outs to whoever formed that protest yesterday out in Camden. Thank you. It was no violence. I wish I would have known. I don't watch TV. I tried not to. But I'm glad everything went well for that. We're all bothered by this. We're all bothered. It's senseless. I didn't know what she just told me, so again, the more you know.
That man was a monster. Any man they could lay on, put his knee on.
He wasn't the only one. Now,
the other officers behind him.
Yes, Diddy's news he put out on the other side, which we didn't see, on the other side of the car. All three of them was on him. You know.
And they showed they have reports have said that Mr. Floyd was compliant. He was not resisting arrest.
They pulled him out the car and brought him on the other side.
Over a $20 bill that ended up being real.
If we can be that petty, judgment is a motherfucker. You know, we can't even go out and be comfortable in our own skin.
In our own community.
In our own community, exactly. And that's where I'm about to go with this. You know, us as black people. Black men, black women, black mother and fathers. This hit hard. It didn't hit differently. And if this doesn't wake us up to unite together and stop the bullshit and get things right as a nation, I feel sorry for the years to come. If we're paying attention, every 10 years is a tragic.
Every 10 years. Every day.
Okay, you want to say that too?
Every day.
But a significant story happens that crushes us. We thought we was floored with Trayvon and how the media fucked that up.
I don't even want to talk about that because that right there just
that was senseless too.
That still hurts like it happened yesterday.
Exactly. So now we're reliving it all over again.
But the moral of the story is that this is the straw that broke the camel's back. And what we're dealing with right now is that people talk so negatively about this new generation of kids. These black kids, these minority kids, Hispanic kids. They not the same as generations before them. All that, you know your place, they don't know they place is right where they want it to be. Their place is where your child place is, where it should be. They have access, and they want access to everything that they should be granted, living here on this earth right here and living here in this country where everybody's supposed to have access to liberty and rights. Turn that off. So with that being said, these kids nowadays, they ready to fight and they ready to die over the situation. They not dealing with none of this bullshit that great grandparents was too afraid to speak up. They don't have it in their heart. They gangster with this shit and they ready to rock. And that's just where I'm at with I'm furious. And I don't really know what to say about it. Only thing I know is that black people were fed up with this bullshit.
And that's what it basically can come down
that's
to.
What it is.
Media also didn't show you about how up in there down there in Louisville, how the cop was being protected and the black men protected this white cop.
But that's what black people do, though.
But we have forgiving hearts.
We do.
Because we know the oppression. We know what it is to hurt. All of the above. We know all of it.
Well, I'm done with this topic.
I'm done with it too. It's,
be safe, everybody.
Yeah,
Take
be
care
safe
of
out
yourself.
there. Always.
Be your brother's keeper. Take care of one another. And that's it. That's all
New York, stay down.